The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Fellas, let's talk about the fight that happened on Saturday night. Well, Saturday afternoon on our end, Saturday night over there in Saudi Arabia. Tyson Fury versus Oleksandr Usyk for the undisputed World Heavyweight Championship. And this fight was won by Oleksandr Usyk, and I think it was pretty much a pick 'em. I think Fury came in as the favorite, but I don't think he was like a big favorite in this one. And like I said, Usyk was able to get the job done. I had the fight 114, 113 in Usyk's favor. I thought Usyk won the first, second, 8th, 9th, and 10th, 11th round. And I had Fury winning the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 12th round. No, that's 6-6. But I thought round 9 was a 10-8 round. And my observation from the fight was the size difference was apparent. Fury just looked a lot bigger than Usyk, but I guess at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Round 1, Usyk was going to the body mostly, and Fury was landing that jab, but I think Usyk was landing the harder shots. And towards the end of that round, Usyk landed that nasty left hook. And then in round 2, Usyk landed that big shot to open up the round, and Fury settled down and started working that jab again. But still, I think Usyk got that second round. And then moving on to the 5th round, I thought that's when Fury started opening up. He started ripping those bodies, those shots to the body, I mean. And I thought, okay, Fury's finally starting to find his groove. And then in round 6, Fury landed that big uppercut that hurt Usyk. And I think if he would have put his foot on the gas that round, it may have been a different outcome. But he was kind of like showboating in there and kind of toying around with him a little bit. I don't know if it's like almost like showing maybe he was tired and he was trying to use that as like a defense mechanism, like showboating there. I don't know. I thought round 7 was close. Fury controlled most of it, but Usyk came on towards the end of the round. I think I gave that a slight edge to Fury. Round 8, that's when Usyk kind of turned the tides around. He was landing that left hand, and Fury didn't see it coming. Like I don't know what was going on, but he was landing that left repeatedly that round, and Fury just didn't really see it coming. And then round 9, the biggest round of the fight, Usyk landed that nasty left hand that almost got Fury out of there. He was like wobbling on the ropes. I'm like, all right, it's about to get called off. But no, round 10, Fury was able to recover, and I think Usyk still landed the heaviest shots in that round to take that round. And then in round 11, I think that could have went either way, but I think Usyk won it with that nasty power shot that he landed with like 10 seconds left. And I think Fury run that last round just because he was the busier fighter, but it was just a little bit too late, and Usyk was able to get the decision. What were your thoughts on this one, Chris?
Just how you called it, just how I saw it. Basically, it didn't seem like Fury was, when you're watching the fight, you can see the size difference. And it almost didn't feel like he took advantage of his size. It almost felt like he made himself a smaller fighter in this fight. He got himself allowed to get hit. He didn't move himself out of harm's way. He was taking a lot of shots that he shouldn't have taken. As a boxer, you just seen the size difference. Feel like he should use his jab to keep the distance more. But he gave us a good fight to watch. And even though he lost, it just seemed like he kind of didn't do enough to win. That's what it would seem like to me.
Steve?
I enjoyed the fight a lot, even not seeing it definitively entirety, just gazing back and forth what I was doing at the time. And looking at it, and I think I was even hearing, I think that's literally, do you want a dominant champion fight or two fighters just competitively going at it the whole fight? I enjoyed that fight for that. Also, about the fight from what I saw, like you said, it seemed like he couldn't keep him at bay with his distance like Fury does all the time. And Usyk was getting in there, tagging him with left hooks, and like you said, caught him with it. And I don't know. Maybe Usyk was a little quicker on the feet to where than his other opponents, to where he couldn't sort of stick move. And maybe to your opinion, Chris, like, did you see him? Probably, of course, he was on top of his game, but do you see him like slowing up since the Ngannou and in this fight? Do you think he's slowing down? You think this is an actual fighter you just had to have competition with, or
I think the size difference matter. I think when you fight the smaller guys, they usually got more speed than you. They're a little bit more quicker than you. So that showed. Fury's not the fastest person in the world, but he's very boxing. He's very technical, but he's not fast. And it just seemed like he couldn't get there. It's like his time was a little off. It felt like he was taking hits that I feel like he could have got away from, or just to redirect them and keep the other opponent at bay. It just seemed like he was control of the fight that he should have been of. And I think watching it as the eye of the judge or just the eye of it, you're seeing the big difference in the heights and stuff. You figure that he should be taking more control than he did. That's how I saw it.
mm-hmm.
So, like I said, it seemed like in those middle rounds, Fury pretty much found his groove. I thought he did, and he was in the driver's seat. And round 8 was kind of where the tides turned. Like, what do you think? What's the cause of that, Chris?
I mean, if you're in the corner and you're telling your fighter, "Hey, listen, you've been losing the last couple. You need to change it up. You need to get in his chest. You need to, put the pressure on him. It's time now. We're not going to win these fights going down if you don't do it right now." So, I think that was a good strategy to get in his chest, trying to get closer to him, make it uncomfortable for him. Don't let him get the distance. That's his normal boxing, and it worked in favor because as we're watching it, we're seeing a different fight. If you get stayed at bay, taking a lot of punches, we're not seeing the aggressiveness out of him.
So you think it was more so Usyk adapting and changing his game plan more so than it was Fury losing focus?
A little bit of both. But Fury, I feel like he should have changed his game plan. He should have went to his bread and butter of the fight. I think he got stuck and wanted to be a fighter. Sometimes when you get hit, you want to get that hit back. Sometimes when you get touched, you want to, get that punch back. So I felt like he was just fighting not his game, but fighting the game of his opponent.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was like an interesting momentum. It was like a momentum fight, and it was interesting to see the pendulum swing a few times in that fight. But Usyk was able to be the first undisputed heavyweight champion. I think they said in over 25 years or something like that. They're saying they had a rematch clause. Fury was undefeated. He had that draw against the first bronze bomber Deontay Wilder fight, but other than that, he's never been beaten. This is his first loss. Do y'all see a rematch playing out differently if they do make it? I'll start off with you, Chris.
Yeah, it'll be a different strategy, I think, from Fury. So it'll be interesting to see how he recovers and bounce back from this loss. I think he, like you said, he never lost before. So this will really define his career going forward. Did he improve from this? Did he learn from his loss, or is he going downhill? If he takes another loss after this, then it almost seems like he's going downhill.
Steve?
You said basically should they rematch?
Oh, I think it's probably gonna happen. It's a rematch clause. I don't know when, but I said, do you see the fight playing out differently if that does happen?
Well, of course. There's people overcompensate on rematching the clause as far as like the style. And then it's a matter of like what you think your opponent's gonna bank on, to me. Do you think he's gonna overcompensate on that left? And does he think that I'm not gonna throw it and then I catch him off with it? And then let alone looking at tape and having people in their camps and seeing what they're banking on. I think definitely it'll turn out differently. And for who, I don't know, because I think Tyson Fury can get back to the board, and because I think never had the rematch, but I think elite fighters, once you fight somebody, you kind of can download them. I think each one has a chance to do that to each other, based off of how Tyson Fury's been undefeated so far and this didn't come through this fight. I think either one can do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be interested when they do make the rematch to see how that turns out. If Fury goes back to the drawing board and changes things up a little bit, like Chris said, maybe use his size to his advantage a little bit more, or Usyk has just figured out that puzzle and maybe even win in more dominant fashion. So we'll see what happens. But Usyk came up to heavyweight and kind of ruined all the plans as far as boxing fan goes, and including me. I before he came up, there's like almost inevitable that Fury and Joshua were to fight, and I think they had that fight on the table until Joshua lost to Usyk. I know one thing that ruined it was Wilder invoked his rematch clause against Fury. That ruined it, but Joshua went to fight Usyk, lost twice, and now he beats Fury. Am I a fan of boxing? For some reason, when I think of Usyk, I think of him just being that monster down at cruiserweight because he's the undisputed champion down there at cruiserweight. I thought when he announced that he was going up to heavyweight, he would have taken a couple of fun fights. And, I didn't know if he would be a true contender because I thought he was a little bit undersized. But undisputed champion at cruiserweight, now undisputed champion and lineal champion at heavyweight. Where does this put his legacy as far as like all-time great in the heavyweight division or just in boxing in general? I'll start with you, Chris.
He's up there. You got to mention his name now. He didn't go up there and beat anybody. He beat name brand people. He went up in weight, undisputed. You just got to tap your hat off to him. It's an amazing compliment that he did. And, his camp should be very proud of him. He should be proud of himself. And, he brought himself to our attention. Now we got to talk about it. Now we got to, we got to watch him fight. We got to see what he does next. He's entertaining too. He can fight.
Steve?
Yeah, I think to a certain level, once you beat somebody and you're on the come up, so especially like Fury, you achieve the status of being one of those fighters you had to beat, like a Fury. And we talk about Joshua and Deontay Wilder. Like Chris said, man, it's undeniable and be crazy not to talk about somebody who beat somebody fair and square, which is Fury. I think he'll be known from now on and wanted to be sought for to fight instead of maybe, of course, he's champion, but considered B or somebody's trying to come up off my name. No, he is the name now.
For sure. And I know Lomachenko did. I don't know if Usyk, because they're both from Ukraine. I don't know if he went back there and helped out with the war over there. So I don't want to spread any misinformation out there. But I mean, for the casual fans, when they see him as champion, I hope that doesn't shut him away from actually getting invested in them, because you had all of those years with the Klitschko brothers and how they pretty much killed the heavyweight division. It was boring, but he's from Ukraine. He's not from Russia, and I don't think people should get that twisted. He's actually an action fighter in there, so I just hope he gets the shine that he should and the adulation that he should. Like, that's something hard to do, and he beat like all the people that for this era of being in the heavyweight division, the Joshuas and the Furies. He hadn't faced Wilder yet, but Wilder's been kind of on the downslide a little bit lately. But hats off to Usyk, man. And if we had to pick today, I would pick him as the favorite in a rematch with Fury. I don't know. Fury looked a little shaky going against Francis Ngannou, and now he loses his head. He needs to go back and focus some more. But definitely a fun fight. Thank you for checking out this Haymaker Combat Sports segment. This full episode could be found on the Haymaker Combat Sports YouTube page and in audio form on all major podcast platforms. Until next time, peace.